Are we following the money? Okay. This article was written July 7th, 2023. 6 charged with organizing illegal donation to Adams' 2021 campaign. A retired inspector who worked and socialized with Mayor Eric Adams when they were both members of the New York Police Department was charged on Friday with conspiring with 4 construction executives, construction, real estate, and a bookkeeper to fund illegal donations to Mr. Adams' 2021 campaign. The 27-count indictment accuses the defendants, some of whom had sophisticated knowledge of campaign finance law, of trying to conceal the source of thousands of dollars in donations by making them in the names of colleagues and relatives. The indictment announced by the Manhattan District Attorney Alvin L. Bragg says the group sought influence and perhaps city contracts. But it does not accuse Mr. Adams or his campaign of misconduct and does not suggest that he was aware of the scheme. Mr. Bragg said in a statement that the defendants had concocted a deliberate scheme to game the system in a blatant attempt to gain power. Here's the thing. If they were trying to gain power, what power would you gain unless the person you're trying to gain power from doesn't know that you're trying to gain it? If you do it under the table, how are you going to gain any power? Because nobody knows that you did it. In addition to the retired police inspector, Dwayne Montgomery, those charged were Shamsuddin Reza, Millicent Reddick, Ronald Peake, and the brothers Yahya and Shahid Mushtaq. That's right. The indictment describes Mushtaq as principals in Echo Safety Consultants, a construction firm that is also charged in the indictment. Mr. Reza, the operator of a second construction firm, was separately charged, has also worked with Echo Safety in the district attorney's office, he said Mr. Reddick. Worked for him as a bookkeeper. Mr. Peake works at another construction safety firm. Echo Safety has been a city subcontractor since April of 2021, according to records maintained by the city comptroller's office. The city has paid the firm $470,000 in that time. Scott Grumman, a lawyer for Shahid Mushtaq and Echo Safety, noted that his clients had pleaded not guilty pleas at an arraignment on Friday. We will be vigorously defending against the allegations. Mushtaq had not been arraigned, but Mr. Grauman, who represents him as well, said he would also plead not guilty and vigorously fight the charges. New York City's complex campaign finance law sits at the heart of the conduct detailed in the court papers. To diminish the influence of big donors and to help less connected candidates get a leg up, New York City matches the first $250 of a resident's donation 8-1. The defendants are accused of trying to mask large donations by funneling them through so-called straw donors. That enabled the campaign to garner more city funds, more of our tax dollars, through so-called straw donors. That enabled the campaign to garner more city funds and potentially amplify the defendant's influence with the incoming mayor. And again, how could he have influence with the mayor if the mayor don't know it? He's the one making the donation. It was unclear how much public money was spent as a result of the scheme. Unclear? Didn't y'all give a whatchamacallit right here? What they said? Let's go scroll up what they had said. It said, to diminish the influence of big donors and to help less connected candidates get a leg up, New York City, our tax dollars, matches the first $250 of a resident's donation 8-1. So $2,000 is $16,000. On Friday, Mr. Thies thanked prosecutors for their hard work on the behalf of the taxpayers. Yeah, dig into it. Find out where our money is going, because ain't none of it going to us, and they keep taking more from us. Now we got freaking Midtown tolls and whatnot, which we was fighting for the longest time. They ticketed us left and right. You can't even do nothing without catching a ticket out here. They got speed cameras everywhere, red light cameras everywhere, cameras, tickets everywhere. They are taxing us. But then in the same breath, he gonna sit here and talk about he not raising taxes. You raising taxes on everything else. And then you making the trucks have to pay taxes. So then that means they're gonna raise the taxes on our food. And everything else that comes in by truck. The campaign always held itself to the highest standards, and we would never tolerate these actions, Mr. Thies says. The campaign will, of course, work with the DA's office. Mayor Adams' team has to work with the FBI, has to work with all of these entities and alphabet soup letters that are investigating him, his campaign, his people, his this, his that. It's a lot of investigating going on. A lot of irons in the fire, but ain't nobody poking. I guess they just going to wait, let him do everything they need him to do, and then they'll take him down. Because they show God that the evidence is mounting. Defendants held 2 fundraisers for Mr. Adams, one in August 2020 and the other one a year later. The second took place after Mr. Adams had won the Democratic primary, effectively ensuring his election as mayor. For each fundraiser, according to prosecutors, the defendants recruited straw donors and then reimbursed them. I'll put the money up for you, Mr. Rizzo texted one relative, according to the indictment. The defendant seems aware that they were engaging in risky behavior. You got to be careful because you got to make sure you do it through workers they trust. That's not going to talk. Because remember, a guy went to jail for that, Mr. Pete told Mr. Rizzo at one point, according to the indictment. Okay. I guess it's not rappers the only ones telling on themselves. Okay. The defendants appeared hopeful that their donations would help them win contracts. I wonder if it's some of these illegal migrant contracts that Eric Adams is overpaying for now. You think? To win contracts on development project. In July 2021, Mr. Rizzo forwarded an email advertising the project to Mr. Montgomery. FYI, this is the one I want. Safety, drywall, and security. Well, you don't even have to guess what he wanted because they told us. FYI, this is the one I want. Safety, drywall, and security. One project we can all eat. Okay? Mr. Rizzo wrote, said the indictment says, okay, it was unclear whether Mr. Adams appeared at the fundraiser, but Mr. Montgomery told Rizzo that the mayor would be more likely to do so if they could promise a certain amount of money would be raised, a practice that is not uncommon among politicians. Mr. Adams doesn't want to do anything if he don't get 5 G's. Mr. Montgomery said, according to indictment. Let's read that again. Mr. Adams doesn't want to do anything if he doesn't get 25 G's. Again, Mr. Adams doesn't want to do anything if he doesn't get 25 G's, Mr. Montgomery said, according to the indictment. Mr. Adams' campaign said Mr. Montgomery appeared to be referring to the standard amount expected of hosts for a general election fundraiser. In a July 2021 phone call, Mr. Rizzo told Mr. Peake, I know what the campaign finance laws. In a July of 2021 phone call, Mr. Rizzo told Mr. Peake, I know what the campaign finance law is. Make sure it's $1,000 in your name and $1,000 in another person's name because the matching fund is 8-to-1. So $2,000 is $16,000 of our taxpayer money. We following the money.